Hey, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name's Olivia and I'm a gender affirming voice teacher. And something that I hear a lot from clients who are first coming into lessons is that they really don't want their voices to sound fake. Then throughout the process, sometimes they get some feedback. Okay, well, I like it. I hear that change, but it sounds fake. So that word fake is something that comes up a lot. And something I like to talk about on this channel is finding your voice, finding your authentic voice. The last thing that I want my students to feel is like their voice isn't their own. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 reasons that could be coming up for you why you think your voice sounds fake. So let's get started. Number 1 is that you might just need some time to adjust. You have spent your entire life up until this moment hearing your voice a certain way. So even if you don't love hearing the sound of your voice without voice training, it can still be a challenge to start to hear your voice differently. The beginning of voice training, you might be exploring, making different sounds, and that can be uncomfortable too. Opening yourself up to making goofy sounds and opening yourself up to, change. So if you're feeling this way and it's early on in the process, I would definitely suggest you give yourself some time. Continue to play around with these things, because if you don't play around with these things, you're not opening yourself up to the possibility of creating real change and a sound that you really like. Number 2 is that you might not be in the sweet spot yet. So throughout the process of voice training, you might be working on one element at a time. So when you're learning a new vocal technique for the first time, it's going to first of all take a little time to adjust to it, learn what it is, and to kind of master it. But then outside of that mastery, you also need to kind of I call it like turning the dial on how much or how little of each element that you want. Because we're not going to just be like working on the brightest resonance of all time. That might not feel like it's you. So it might be that you're working on this element, you're working on resonance, let's say, and you feel like you have a good handle on what you're doing and how you're doing it, but it still doesn't quite sound right. So it could be that you just haven't found the right amount of resonance for you. And it also, of course, combining the elements and making sure each one of those are kind of dialed in as well. So even though you're feeling good about each of these elements, it could take a little time to find exactly your sweet spot. And that can take a while, because you might be working on phrases and sentences, reading, and then you got to bring it over into conversation. So kind of, making that transition can also be challenging when you're trying to dial in the right amount of each element. Number 3 is that your emotions might need some time to catch up. Voice training can be an emotional process. Not only are you learning these techniques, but you're also, finding a piece of you. So you might feel a lot of pressure, going into voice training, like, I have to get it right this time, or, why can't I do it? Or, any number of things that your brain might be telling you, or emotions that you have about your old voice and how that makes you feel. So sometimes if you're working on something, you actually might be making changes, but maybe you're not able to recognize those yet. I've had this experience with clients where I hear a big change in their voice and they are not able to process it. They're not able to recognize the change in their voice. Now, some of that can be like you're living with your own voice day to day. So it's a good idea to kind of make a recording, kind of where you started versus, some months later, so that you can get some context. You might have some negative thought patterns around your voice. I'll never be able to change my voice, or, my voice is too low, or my voice is too deep. So opening yourself up to the possibility of change, I think, can really help with opening your ears and helping your emotions to kind of catch up with what you're hearing. So affirmations you can just write in a notebook, or you can say them aloud if that feels comfortable for you. But you can try things like, I have a feminine voice. I have a light and floaty, easy voice. My voice feels easy when it comes out of my mouth. Any things that can kind of help you accept some of the changes that are happening for your voice. So I hope that you will give yourself permission to make sounds and explore your voice without putting so much pressure on the end result. Getting to know your voice and allowing yourself the time and giving yourself patience through this process will definitely help you end up with a more natural and easy feeling voice, rather than if you put so much pressure on yourself to have the perfect voice, or if you're criticizing your voice saying that it's fake all along the way. So I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.